Shalom. Shalom, Yesharala. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praise, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching 100% truth. Wa Barakatham unto the 144,000, as well as the rest of your elect. May peace and blessings be unto your households. All right, and it's your brother Gadal from the Great Millstone Dallas branch. And in this quick lesson, I just wanted to pretty much, it's going to be a ride and talk. I just wanted to get into how charity is more important than ultimately whatever you're doing, right? Whether if it's making a lesson or, you might be studying. If a brother calls you and is in need, that's more important than pretty much both of them things, right? The Apostle Paul, he said it. He said, 1 Corinthians, I think, 1 Corinthians 13:2. He says, I have all wisdom, all knowledge, all faith, but if I have not charity, I have nothing, which is brotherly love. So the Apostle Paul, he really understood the value of brotherly love, man, or at least just how important it is to have that brotherly love, man, because we know what scripture says, man. What you've done to the least of me, you've done it unto me, right? So whatever you've done to the least, you've done it unto Yahweh Shem Shah, meaning that if you chose to ignore a brother that's in need of you, then you ultimately ignore Yahweh Shem Shah when he needs you, ultimately. Even though we understand the Lord don't really need us, but like I said, what have you done to the least of them? You've done it unto me. That's what scripture says. So you might be in the middle of a lesson. The Lord, man, this brother car might just broke down or something, and you're like the one that's the most convenient that can really help him at that moment. Are you gonna brother, let me just go ahead and finish this lesson knowing you got like at least 10 more minutes to go, 5 more minutes to go, or whatever, instead of just getting up and moving with haste to help a brother? Because if it was Yahweh Shah calling you, you'll drop everything to help him. That's exactly how you should be treating a brother, because that's what the Lord's gonna be looking at, man. That's what Yahweh Bashem Yahushua gonna be looking at, right? He gonna be looking at so do you see you doing that lesson is more important, or helping one of my servants more important? Because either way, you're doing good work, but the brothers come first, man. Even when studying, you might not got to study like that all week or something, but his brother wanted to hit you up and he wanted to talk to you, man. He wanted to talk to you because, it's going to uplift his spirit. Are you going to do that? Or are you going to be like, yeah, bro, I'm just in the middle of studying, And don't get me wrong, brothers understand, but, remember, that's what you're doing unto them, you're doing unto the Lord. So that's mean if you chose studying over than uplifting one of the Lord's men, exhorting them to keep fighting and shit, I almost said shit, and fighting, or keep going, or just hear him out, vent to you, or whatever they got to say to you. You see what I'm getting at? Put the brothers first, man, to the best of your ability. There's some things that you can only do, you can really do, but if it's in your power to do it, do it. Like I said, man, a lesson is not more important than a brother that needs your help. It's just not. Lessons are important to do. Yes, it is. Don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying that at all. Because you let scripture say, if you love me, feed my sheep. But, dude, if a brother is calling you, and he needs your help, he's tired, broke down, and you manage to be 10 minutes away, bro, that lesson can wait. That lesson can wait. Unless you got 2 minutes or something. But even then, it's when a brother calls you, you really want to call you, you want to be moving in haste. You don't want to be sitting there just chilling, moving as if you just got all day. Nah, bro, you're really supposed to be moving in haste. Because like I said, you got to think of it. What if it was Yahweh Shah? If it's Yahweh Shah, are you gonna be taking your sweet old time? No, the fuck you're not. Are you gonna be sitting there, let me just finish up this? Nah, it's fucking Yahweh. Not fucking, but it's Yahweh Shai. So Yeah, sometimes it might like, damn, man, I was getting in the spirit in the lesson, but the brother needs you, man. Ultimately, just going into putting yourself last, man, and putting the bros first, right? Putting the bros first, man. Like I said, whether it's reading, studying, making lessons, right? Things of that sort. Now if you're doing something important like you changing your oil on your car, then I mean you do what you got to do. You let the brother know, and then you probably have to talk to somebody else. Stuff like that is different. But if it's something that can legitimately, like, it can wait, if it can wait, then do so, right? Do what you got to do, right? Because these are the Lord's men that we're talking about. And if we're supposed to be treating them as Yahweh Shai, that's the first thing you should think about, man. Shit, hey, if this was Yahweh Shai and he called me, would I be so worried about this lesson right now? No, I'm like, no, I'm finna go help Yahweh Shai himself. Hell, I'm finna get boosted up in the spirit. That's usually how it goes, man. You go help a brother out. Hell, they thank you, and the Lord, man, he take note of that, man. Yahweh Bashem Shai, he takes note of them things, man. You sacrificing your time, putting things aside ultimately for him, right? Because like I said, both of it is good work. Making a lesson is good work, but if a brother needs you, bro, do that first, man. Do that first, as soon as possible. Like I said, and also it depends on what it is, man. It depends, but like, you'll know within the spirit. But that's really all I really had. Just something that kind of dawned on my spirit, man. Just make sure you're putting the brothers first, man. Right? Everything else comes second. Ultimately, putting this ministry first, man. Serving the Lord, man. Above all, having that brotherly love, man. The Apostle Paul said to himself, I have all these things, but if I have not charity, which is agape, right? In the Greek, agape, which is brotherly love, what he said, I have nothing. Simple as that. But yeah, anyways, Lord willing, y'all was edified. I'm in it all by saying, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And until next time, I say, Shalom, Yeshua.